So it's Monday morning and just been for a bit of a haircut and groom, which is well overdue. We are into week 2 of the cruise, just walking through the ship. Up early again this morning, which was around about 6:30 European time, which is 5:30 UK time, ready to catch the 6 a.m. candle close. Last week had a pretty good finish to the week. This week, pretty good start to the week. So although month 1 target wasn't hit, the good news is that we're on a good target on track for hitting month 2's target and basically doing the 2 targets together. But obviously won't know that for quite a few days yet. Had a trade that in fact I'm lost in the ship now. I need to find some steps. Had a trade that I put on this morning in pound Aussie dollar. My Aussie dollar US dollar short hit its target overnight, which is good. So all in good shape really for the start of the week. Always like to start the week pretty well, and certainly done that. Over the weekend, visited a couple of ports. Went to Livorno in Italy, and also yesterday, I can never say it, Civitavecchia, which is the port of Rome, and had a tour around Rome. Visited the Colosseum, visited the Roman Forum, and ate Italian pizza. So let's go and have a quick look at what happened over the last couple of days right now. So Saturday morning, 7 days into the trip, and we docked at Livorno in Italy. Docked here this morning around about 7 a.m. It's quite an industrial port, just looking at things. We're not off the ship today. There are trips to Pisa and Florence, but I've been there before. And also we've got a big trip to Rome tomorrow, so we're going to have a relax and unwind on the ship today. Well, Sunday morning, and we've just landed in Civitavecchia, if I can say that correctly, which is the gateway to Rome. So going to explore into Rome today on a tour to visit the Colosseum and retrace the footsteps of the gladiators, which is quite appropriate as my youngest boy is named Maximus after the film Gladiator. So pretty excited for today, and let's see what Rome has got to offer. So So that was a quick whistle-stop tour of Livorno and Rome. Now let's jump into the charts and have a look at the trades I'm in and what's been happening. Okay, so it's just after 2 o'clock UK time, 3 o'clock Spanish time, Italian time. We're on the way to Spain. And finally got the results in now for the first month of trading. Target was 10% of opening capital, so target was £5,000. Actually closing balance was 53,633, which was a small gain of 0.65%. So not exactly not what I wanted, but didn't lose any money. Learnt a lot, and I'm already starting to see the benefit of that, which I'll talk about in a moment, in terms of month 2. So there's every chance that I could hit month one's target and month 2 target in month 2. Highest account value here, lowest account value here. Drawdown, this is from the high to the low, highest account value to the lowest account value, just under 7%, and drawdown on opening capital under 4%. So I have a maximum drawdown in any month of 20% of opening capital, so this is well within limits. Did 19 trades, 47% of those were winners. There was one break-even trade, so if I took the break-even trade out of this number here, it would be a 50-50 split. But what's interesting is 100% of my trades were short, so I have maybe it's the market, who knows. I'll monitor this as we move forward, but I do seem to have a tendency to short the market and to be better shorting. And some traders do have a bias, well, not a bias, but maybe a more skilled in long trades or more skilled in short trades. Average reward to risk, so this is the amount I risk on the initial position, and the reward that I gain was 0.76. 0.76. So what I'm looking for here is a 2-to-1 risk reward on each trade as a minimum. So this is well below where it should be, which explains why, with a 50-50, let's call this a 50-50 win loss ratio, this number should be a lot higher. If this number is a lot higher, which is why I monitor this number. So I'm going to be monitoring this number already, monitoring this number moving forward. Already I'm seeing an improvement on that in month 2. And potential of the move while in the trade, I captured on average 51% of the potential move in the trades that I was in. So there's more scope to capture more. Of course, you're never going to you're never going to buy at the bottom and sell at the top, or sell at the top and buy at the bottom. It's never going to happen. But yeah, that's where we are. So a lot to work on here. Going to monitor these as we move forward. In terms of eToro, these figures are different. Started with a smaller balance here. P&L gain $187, that's 1.87. So this number is very different to this number. Part of this is to do with spreads, part of it is to do with sometimes I get stopped out of trades earlier in eToro because of the spread. So these numbers are different. But this number in eToro, for my copiers on eToro, is better than this number. So it's not 10%, but it's a bit closer to 10%. So that's where we are. So those are the numbers in. I'm going to put this in my blog with a bit more explanation, and you can read about that at stgforex.tv. Let's have a quick look at the trades that I'm in. So the first trade that I currently have on is Australian dollar, US dollar, sold here. We've hit the target here. This is at a significant level, shown by this black line here. This black line here is the 10 and 5 year low, so bound to get some resistance off this line here. But as you can see, in terms of the weekly trend, there's a lot more scope to fall here. So what I've done is I've rolled the stop to entry in line with my rules, and I'm holding now to see if we can break the daily trend and fall further below this level. So a lot of decision making to happen here. We could get some consolidation across here while traders make up their mind as to what they want to do. Next trade I'm in on a full house strategy is Euro Swiss franc short here, very similar to the Aussie dollar trade, right in the middle of the weekly range depicted by these turquoise lines. If I jump into the 240, you'll see that hit target, so took off half the position, roll the stop to entry, and now waiting to see if we track lower. So very, very similar to that Aussie dollar trade I just showed you. Then the final trade I'm in is pound Aussie short. As you can see, we're at the top of the daily trend line, if you like. And here we've got a range, got a touch here, a touch here, a touch here, and a touch here. So I sold here at the top of the range. If I go into the 240 chart, you can see that there's a bit of trading above the 200 simple moving average on the 240 chart, but we're kind of halfway to my stop here. On the let me go back to the daily. On the daily, we've got the 50 simple moving average tracking down. It's debating whether to take this trade or not, because as you can see with this upward sloping turquoise line, this is the weekly trend, which is up, but the daily trend is down. I felt that we've probably got enough to push into that initial target. Only time will tell. So I'm holding this for the moment, looking to push down into this level to take off half the position. But you know, this trade, I may end up taking this off if we don't get some push down fairly soon. Or of course it could end up being a loser. Going to have some losing trades. It's about the split and the reward to risk, as I showed earlier in terms of my monthly analysis. Looking at the weekly numbers so far, took profit on Aussie dollar, US dollar, took profit on Euro, Swiss franc, open risk, because these are protected trades now, open risk is here on the pound Aussie, so you know, pretty much no risk exposure at all. So sitting pretty and seeing how things pan out. It is Tuesday morning, and we just landed in Cartagena, I think I pronounced that correctly, in Spain. This is the second to last drop-off point or stop-off point. We do Gibraltar next before heading back to Southampton. So we're going to have a wander into the city today to have a quick look. It's an early departure, so not a huge amount of time to have a look. Anyway, back to the trading. Got up early this morning, did the morning market analysis, got a couple of positions on. I've closed out my pound Aussie dollar short. Just wasn't behaving correctly. Was kind of closed above the 240 200 simple moving average. Didn't feel comfortable in this trade. Some Australian dollar news out this morning. I'm getting a lot better now at cutting my losses, and that's exactly what I did this morning. Cut my losses, got out to protect the profits that I've already booked. So yeah, that trade ironically is now starting to go in the direction that I'd anticipated it would go in, but hey ho, that's life, that's trading. So today, not going to be able to check the charts too much. Not going to be able to look at the 10 o'clock or the 2 o'clock. But that's, you know, it's part and parcel of being on holiday. So not too worried about that. Got the two trades in play: Australian dollar, US dollar short, Euro, Swiss franc short. So we'll just see how those play out. Both of those are fully protected. Stop is at entry, and you know, they've hit target, they've made money already, they're profitable. So can have a fairly relaxing morning wandering around the city. It's about 3 o'clock. Actually, it's about 3:30 Spanish time, 2:30 UK. We're about to sail away. Got the non-alcoholic cocktail in hand, not alcoholic till tonight. And I've just been down to the room to check the charts. Still got my 2 positions on, no signal showing up. Seems to be pretty quiet today, not a lot of activity, not a lot of volatility. So patience is a virtue. It is tempting always to try and initiate a trade when there isn't a trade there, but I have very, very strict rules, and I'm finding that actually in sticking to them, I feel a lot more relaxed about what I'm doing, a lot more relaxed about exiting, entering, doing the whole trade management, risk management thing. So, and it seems to be paying off. So off to a really good start this month. Anyway, I'm going to enjoy the drink and wait for the boat to sail away, or ship, I should say, to sail away. Early start again, got the ship to myself again. It is 6 o'clock now, 6 a.m. Spanish time, and that means 5 o'clock UK time. So we're landing in Gibraltar today. So got to get up early, got to get off the ship. We're there till I think from 8 a.m. till 2 p.m. So got to do the morning market analysis, got to look at the trade, see where we are before I get off the ship and have a look around Gibraltar with the family. Last night, I know there was some New Zealand dollar news. Don't know what that news was yet, but that means that, wow, it's loud here. That means that I had an Australian dollar, New Zealand dollar short on, so we'll see where that position has ended up. So I'll dive into the charts now and take a look. That was a surprise overnight. The Reserve Bank of New Zealand cut the bank rate to 1%. Of course, that had a weakening effect on the New Zealand dollar across all of the pairs, and unfortunately, that meant my Australian dollar, New Zealand dollar short was stopped out. I got in here. We'll talk about that in a moment, and was stopped out up here, just to the upside of the 200 simple moving average on the 240 chart. Now, a couple of mistakes I made here. The first mistake I made was putting on a trade when I knew there was really significant overnight news, and thinking about this, why did I do that? Was it greed? Was it the need to be in a trade? I've got one other trade on at the moment. Who knows? But I need to be watchful of that in the future. My rules clearly state that I need to protect myself from the news, and clearly I didn't do that on this occasion, which has put a dent in what was a really good start to the month. The other mistake that I made, I was in a rush to do this last night. I was not in a good place. Kids were around. I was trying to do this in the cabin on the ship. And my rules say that to take a full house trade, full house strategy, what I need to do is I need to have a signal, a reversal signal. This was the 6 o'clock candle. When I was looking at setting up this trade, there was an X signal here, and I took the trade on the basis of that, when in actual fact, when the candle closed, there was no X signal, so I wouldn't have taken this trade. The other thing, looking back at this trade, I took this trade at the low of the daily trend line. In actual fact, that goes against my rules as well. I should only take these trades if they're kind of midway or higher up if I'm going short. So on all counts, I made a load of mistakes with this trade, and all I can put it down to is greed, to want to be in a trade. Thinking I was going to win, when in actual fact I had actually absolutely no idea, because it's always down to probability, and I think I rushed this trade. On the weekly, still looks like we're in a downtrend position. but that doesn't matter. I lost on this trade. It was a losing trade on the basis that I lost money on this trade, and also the fact that for whatever reason, and I'm not 100% sure, I didn't follow my rules. And just for completeness, here's the reaction on the New Zealand dollar. Big sell-off here. And the only other trade that I'm in at the moment is my Australian dollar short here. So yeah, we've closed now below the daily trend line. Got this YX reversal candle. So I think the Australian dollar, it kind of tracks, I think on this occasion, the New Zealand dollar. What we have done on the Australian dollar is we are now trading below the 10 and 5-year low. Got a duplication there for some reason. Let's get rid of that. We're trading now below the 10 and 5-year low, so we're kind of in uncharted water, really. If I go out to the monthly here, you can see that yeah, we're now down into this area. There's still potential to fall a lot further, but you know, this is certainly for the last 10 years. This is uncharted territory. Not quite sure why that's not showing up there. I'll resolve that in a moment, but yeah, that's it. So that's all I'm looking at the moment. I'm going to check in now. It's 5 to 6 UK time. I would look for the 6 a.m. close and see if there's an opportunity to add to any position, to this position, or enter any new trades. So popped up to the top deck of the ship, and you can see the rock of Gibraltar in the background there. Just landed in Gibraltar. Another huge ship pulling it into the port. So going to have a good day in Gibraltar. Just reflecting on that Australian dollar, New Zealand dollar trade overnight. Number of mistakes, as I said in the when I was talking through the charts. You know, the wrong signal, there not being a signal in the first place, and also trading ahead of the news. So I'm going to reflect on that, put a blog post together on that, just analysing those mistakes, which you can read at stgforex.tv once it's up. But you know, things happen. You do make mistakes in trading, and you have to lose and learn. If you lose and you do nothing about it, well, that's definitely a loss. But if you lose and learn, at least you develop and you move forward into the future. So going to do that and make sure that I don't make the same mistake twice. I have just added to my Australian dollar US dollar short on a signal candle. I think the Aussie dollar is tracking, well, tends to track the New Zealand dollar. So if the New Zealand dollar has weakened as it has, then the Australian dollar often follows suit. So taking advantage of that, I think the Australian dollar has got some way still left to fall, but time will tell. So I have risk exposure in that trade again. Was looking at some other trades, but had a problem with my data connection here, so not clear in the charts after I recorded that video just now. So yeah, just gonna forget the trading now. I can't look at the chart at 10 o'clock, probably not at 2 o'clock, because we'll be off the ship. So I'll see if that one trade plays out or not, and I will check in later. But in the meantime, it's off to explore Gibraltar. So here we are in St. Michael's Cave in Gibraltar. Very atmospheric and very, very impressive. Just done a tour from the city up to see a few of the sites. My wife just met one of the monkeys. There we go. Have a look at this. Wow, amazing, amazing stuff. So what do you think of St. Michael's Cave, boys?
Good. Bye. Bye.
Okay, so we're at Princess Caroline's Battery on Gibraltar Rock, and behind there somewhere is the ship. In fact, let me turn the camera around. You can see it a lot better. So what an interesting tour we just had. Our tour guide was actually in The Living Daylights, which is one of the James Bond films starring Timothy Dalton, and was filmed in part on Gibraltar Rock. So yeah, this guy was in the film. I'm now walking up to the Trafalgar Cemetery, and also I should be finding in a second the court, the Registrar's Court, where John Lennon married Yoko Ono, but I'll see if I can find that in a second. And there we have it behind me, the place where, oh, there's the van in the way, the place where John Lennon married Yoko Ono. So a quick look on Wikipedia, and it looks like that actually the wedding took place in the British Consulate Office, which is behind me, this building here. I'll turn the camera around in a second to get that on view, so a bit confused as to where it actually happened, but certainly around where I'm stood at the moment. So back en route now to the Trafalgar Cemetery, where a number of people who were killed at the Battle of Trafalgar in 1805 were buried. There is a statue of Lord Admiral Nelson, who I'm a huge fan of, so keen to see that. I believe that was put up in commemoration in 2005, so just going to find that now, and yeah, I think it's just round the corner. Amazing stuff, and gentleman stopped and took my photo with Nelson, so really good to get that. I'm not going to go into the Trafalgar Cemetery. I'm not going to film out of respect, but I'm going to go in and have a look and pay my respects to those that fell at Trafalgar. Wow, quite blown away by that. Just visited the cemetery, Trafalgar Cemetery, and I've found, managed to find, there's only 2 or 3 graves apparently of people who died as a result of the Battle of Trafalgar in 21st of October 1805, and I managed to find one which was somebody called William Forster, who died of wounds inflicted at Trafalgar, aged 20. So makes you think when you look back at all that history, and to have the opportunity to go and see that and pay respects is a real privilege. So I'm now heading back into the town to find the family, and then, given the time, we're going to need to get back on the ship. So that was Gibraltar, which was great, really enjoyed it. But now we are waiting to set sail. I think a couple of people are still to get on the ship. And this is apparently the Great British Sail Away. But personally, I'm waiting for Royal Britannia and a bit more tradition. But we will see whether that turns up in a moment.
Doors, I'm a fool for your love.